think most of us have been on this planet long enough to know about how fashion trends. Well, maybe not so much how it trends, but most of us understand that certain fashions phase in and out. Now, this presentation is not about fashion. It's not about stereotypes or progressive movements of the ages. It's not about liberation or expression. It's actually about something much darker. Influence. The lure. Now, there are some of you who are going to have a hard time with what I'm about to present, but I'm not here to make friends. I'm here to wake you up. I'm here to show you something that apparently many people don't want to address, and I've looked. Why? I asked myself, why don't people address this thing? And maybe some people will come to a realization of what is happening. So first, let me tell you what I'm talking about. Well, let me show you. This is what I call the look of today, or the look of possession. Possessed by what, you ask? Well, just look and you tell me. It's no secret, folks. The world is full of devils. Now, I know that some people are going to disagree with me, but I just want you to look outside yourself for a moment and take a look at the bigger picture from a neutral perspective. And if you don't see what I see, then it's just a matter of my opinion. I'm making an observation. Now, I remember the punk rock fashion, the 80s and 90s styles. So things like wildly cut hair, I didn't mind that. I thought it looked cool on certain people. Even when people colored their hair, it was often rare. And if it was any other color other than a natural hair color, it was rare and very temporary. Of course, it drew more attention to the person, but it seemed that it was done for more of a specific reason rather than just coloring their hair for no reason at all, aside from it just being trendy. Now, tattoos, I'll be honest, I actually like tattoos. However, I do think people can go a little too far with that. Piercings, anything more than 2 earrings hanging off the ears, I could do without the facial piercings in the nose, septum, cheeks, lips. All I can think of to myself is, man, you would look so much better without that ring in your face. I don't know. Maybe some people like it. Now, makeup has never been a big problem for me, but people can cake on so much to completely hide their true face. The point is, when you take all of those things and put them all together into one person or on one person, I'm sorry to say, now you look like someone who is trying to either look like a clown or a demon. Like a possessed witch doctor. And there is a reason I bring that up. Do y'all see the pattern now? You think demonic influence isn't real? Is it just me? Why is no one else really addressing this? So let me be fair. Let's break these elements down. Let's start with makeup. The ultimate list of beauty industry stats, 2022. The beauty industry generates over $100 billion in revenue worldwide. 67% of beauty shoppers say they turn to influencers to discover new products. You see how powerful influence is, folks. Now, those of you who have read the Book of Enoch, and believe that narrative, then you understand that cosmetics may have been something taught to mankind by the Watchers or fallen angels. Now, what's interesting is in chapter 8 of the book of Enoch, it says, "Moreover, Azazel taught men to make swords, knives, shields, breastplates, the fabrication of mirrors, so that you could look at yourself, and the workmanship of bracelets and ornaments, meaning jewelry, the use of paint, which is makeup, the beautifying of the eyebrows, the use of stones of every valuable and select kind, and of all sorts of dyes, so that the world became altered." And what's crazy, folks, are the verses that come after this. After people were taught how to use and make dyes to look like seductive witches, the other fallen angels taught them how to be seductive witches. Impiety increased, fornication multiplied, and they transgressed and corrupted all their ways. Amazarach taught all the sorcerers and dividers of roots. Armers taught the solution of sorcery. Barkiel taught the observers of the stars. Akibiel taught signs. Tamiel taught astronomy. And Azaradel taught the motion of the moon. And men, being destroyed, cried out, and their voice reached to heaven. Now, I'm just using the book of Enoch as an example of how these things tend to fit together. So, folks, you tell me why these things go together. Why are so many people who are into dyes, tattoos, piercings, also into tarot cards, nature, spirits, crystals, herbs, or the cutting of roots, horoscopes? Not everyone is like that. Some people who are really deep into true dark sorcery look very normal indeed. They wear suits and luxury dresses. But this is a type of influence, you see. Makeup, cosmetics, in a sense, it is witchcraft. It will almost magically make you look like a different person. And I'm sure you guys have seen the videos out there demonstrating this. And even after you know what the person looks like underneath, they could put the makeup on right in front of you, and you are still fooled. Is that not magic? Now, tattoos are interesting. The ancient Canaanites would slash the skin or brand their bodies as a form of ritual, if you want to go all the way back. The Egyptians who wore tattoos were mostly women as markings of fertility and such. Biblically, it says not to do this for the purpose of mourning the dead. In modern times, however, it is more considered just body art than anything else. In terms of your health, I'm not 100% certain what having a lot of tattoos on the body does, and having a slow ink drip into your bloodstream. I don't know. How many people with tattoos complain about back pain? Now, when it comes to the facial piercings, the gauges in the ears, I'll come out and say it ain't cute. Now, that's just my opinion. There is a more extreme end of this, and that is when people are looking more and more like they are possessed. This is becoming very common with women because, of course, that is who these spirits like to target. I mean, it is what it is, but there is an attraction here, and I'll discuss that in a moment. Now, let me be clear. I'm talking about people who take all these things to the next level. I'm talking about beyond goth or spooky kid. I'm talking about when they are looking like they just stepped out of one of CERN's portals. See, many people are going to look at all this as alternative, the alt girl or alt guy. with decades of subculture existing for several movements, a form of expression and a way to break away from the traditional norms of society, when really it's the same old, same old. Those subcultures are a normal part of societal evolution. It's not new, nor is it anything special. And why does a breakaway subculture have to look like a bunch of clowns in cosplay? Why that look? Why the emo, goth, grunge, whatever? Every decade, people keep coming up with that same idea. Hey, I know how to break away from society. I'll make myself appear to be anything but normal. Then people will see that I'm not. And so, well, I get it. And so, that is not what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about any of that. I'm not talking about some fashion trend or liberated expression. I'm talking about a mass influence, not just to fashion an alternative look, but to appear as something dark, unclean, enchanted, or even possessed. Much of this makes more sense when you stop and ask these individuals about their experiences with spirits. They almost always have a story. How do I know? Because I've chatted with them. Spirituality is definitely one of the driving motivations for this. There is no doubt. But like I said, there is an attraction element here. There is a lure. Now, on the extreme ends, some people would call these characteristics red flags. Well, you never know. But I will say this to those who are attracted to this. There is something called posmatism. And I may have mentioned this before in another video. In the wild, you may come across some very colorful but rare species of animals that have very cool and intricate patterns on their bodies. And these animals, whether they be frogs or insects, snakes, what have you, things like that, they attract the eye. Now, someone who doesn't know any better might mistake that animal for trying to attract a mate. But a predator, something that eats those animals, knows that if you touch that animal or even get too close, that animal could hurt you. It could poison you, it could potentially kill you. And that is posmatism. Now, does this apply to humans? Yes, unfortunately, in some cases it does. And humans who do express a posmatism typically know that they themselves are poisonous. The warning of caution here is to not let yourself get too drawn into these lures of these spirits that are all around us, because they set everything up to get you to move closer to them. The transhuman agenda seems to be in full swing, and this next generation doesn't know what planet they're on. Some of them don't even know what continent they live on. But that is a discussion for another time. It seems like the veil is getting even thinner as this next generation comes in, as more and more people are trying to adopt this certain look that is becoming very common. It's not like every individual has a different look. No, everyone is trending a similar look, as if a similar spirit is making its rounds, influencing people. That's all for now, folks. Be sure to visit woodwardentertainment.com and the Woodward Entertainment store. You can follow me on Instagram at JAEWoodward. Everyone have a great day. There is more to come very soon. And always, friends, stay awake, stay aware, stay safe, and I'll talk to you all soon.